What is going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new YouTube video. It is now 11:07 AM on Saturday 28th of June. Guys, last week was the first weekly upload that I missed since the start of the summer shred, and to be honest, I missed it. I really did miss it, so I was super excited to get back behind the camera today. So behind or in front of, I guess, kind of both. Super excited to be sandwiched in the camera today. As you can see, I'm not in my usual surroundings. I'm currently in the Premier Inn in Birmingham Airport because the plan was to be in my own bed by Friday night. Like, it'll be late on Friday night, but I'll be in my own bed. But the flight was unfortunately delayed from Budapest, which meant I landed in Birmingham at, 12:30 AM last night. Took about 20-30 minutes to get through the airport. So then being close to 1 AM, I was like, there's just no way I'm driving home now. So I did what I think is a smart move and just drove to the Premier Inn 5 minutes down the road and booked myself a room. I was absolutely starving when I got here, but I didn't want to like get any big meals in, so I literally just got a chocolate bar and a bottle of water from the vending machine and just went to bed. Woke up around like 9:15 after a completely uninterrupted sleep, which was glorious. But I definitely could have done with more. I am a tired guy this morning. It was so hot in my hotel room in Budapest that I just didn't really sleep that well. So first thing on the agenda today is to get caffeinated before this drive. We've got a lot to do today, and the main thing I want to address in today's video is the summer shred and how everything went as an overall thing. So let's go ahead and get this day started. I have just finished getting all my stuff ready to leave. So sit back, relax, and let's get this day started. I mean, it feels weird saying let's get this day started after 11 AM, but you know what, it is what it is. Good old UK roads. I've been back here driving for what? 5 minutes down the road, down the M42 to the nearest Starbucks, as you can see behind me. And the whole way, I had this little dweeb with a backwards hat driving a Mini up my ass. It's good to be back. But it does turn out that these Birmingham airport services are actually really good. Got myself my usual Starbucks iced brown sugar oat shaken espresso. I'm getting quite good at saying that now after lots of practice. And I also picked up one of these, Messi's new hydration drink. Definitely a competitor for Prime, Mars. So we're gonna go in the car and give this a little taste test. They had a few nice sounding flavors, but I thought Miami Punch sounds like the most promising one. So yeah, let's go ahead and give this one a try. I quite like these hydration drinks. Just basically a low calorie water-based drink that gives electrolytes and minerals and vitamins and all that kind of thing. I am a fan of these. I'm definitely a bigger fan of these than I am stuff like the, you know, the hydrate kind of like powders. I just think they just, I've not found one that tastes good so far. So let's go ahead and give this a try. Apologies for the weird angle. I've not got a tripod or something in the car to support my phone, so I have wedged my phone between the steering wheel and the paddle shifter. But here we go. Messi Mars hydration drink, Miami Punch flavor. You know, considering how disappointed I was when I tried Prime, which absolutely sucks ass, by the way, this is pretty good. I'm not going to say it's great, but it's really good. The flavour, the actual punch flavour is good. You can tell it's a hydration drink. I think hydration drinks have a certain kind of like feel to them. I don't know how to describe it. I think if you've tried hydration drinks before, you probably know what I mean. The flavour in these hydration drinks just seems to be a little bit flat. That's the best way I can describe it. But I'm quite impressed by this. Normally, if I want hydration, I'll go for like a blue Powerade or something. But obviously that contains a lot of sugar. So if I haven't done any like really rigorous exercise, then I'll try not to have that. But this, nice light drink, nice flavour. I'm actually quite impressed. Anyways, that's enough of that. Let's get ourselves home. Okay, let's go. I'm so tired. I'm a bit delirious. I got home and I wrote myself this massive long to-do list of things I've got to do before the start of next week, just to reset and everything, and I'm a little bit stressed, so let's go ahead and get this last review over and done with so I can just have the rest of the day to do all my little bits. First of all, let's go over the in-body data, because I know this is something you've been used to seeing if you've been following the series, and then we'll talk about the actual data in terms of like just weigh-ins. Alright, so my last in-body result came at the end of the 15th week of my cut, but actually ended up doing 17 weeks in real time. And straight away I want to point out, you know, when I did that previous result and I kind of, you know, upped my carbs and everything and I ended up getting these results, I actually depleted my carbs again for the last, like, you know, 1.5 weeks of the cut after that. So you're going to see some strange figures again here. Weight's gone down by 0.8 kilos since the previous reading. By the way, there's only 6 days between these readings, so less than a week. 0.8 kilos gone. 1.1 kilos of muscle mass supposedly gone. Just ignore that. That's obviously not true. I haven't lost 1.1 kilos of muscle within a week, I hope. And then with fat mass, we're supposedly up 1.1 kilos. Again, there's no need to read too deeply into that. That's just basically a result of essentially manipulating my carbs to get some slightly artificial results. It's highly unlikely. In fact, it's basically impossible for anyone to actually gain 1.1 kilos of fat in 6 days. I hope. So in terms of in-body results, we started on 92.5 kilo, we're down to 88, so that's what, 4.5 kilos gone. Not bad. Started at 39.3 kilos of muscle, up to 39.8, that's plus half a kilo of muscle. To be fair, that's quite plausible, gaining 0.5 kilos of muscle in that time frame. Fat, I'm actually quite proud of. We started at 24.1 kilos and ended up at 18.9, so, you know, solid 5-ish kilos of fat mass gone there, which is ideal. But I just want to reiterate, if you ever do a cut or something similar to this, there's no need to take individual readings to heart. What matters most is that the trend, the long-term trend, has gone the right direction. It's gone the correct direction. Weight's come down, muscle has slightly gone up, and fat has come down as well. That's the exact trend that we want to see. What this generally indicates as a whole throughout the entire process is that weight has come down, and that weight, the majority of that weight coming down has come from fat mass, and we've actually gained a little bit of muscle, which I think during a cut should be the exact aim anyways. And hopefully this also goes to prove that you don't need to go into a super heavy deficit in order to get results, because the lowest calories that I've had is 2,350, which I did really struggle with, and that was, I remember we only did that for what? Started on the 17th of April, and I stopped on the 1st of May because I discovered that I was losing muscle. Other than that, I've pretty much been around the 2,500 calorie mark the entire time, which, don't get me wrong, I'd love to eat a bit more food, but it's been manageable. I've not been starving on those calories. So overall, looking at the in-body results, I'm really happy with this. I know at the start of the process, I said it'd be nice to lose 9 kilos, but on reflection, especially after using results like this rather than just scale weight, I think this has been a much smarter approach to what I've done rather than just going off scale weight. Because if I was just doing that, I probably would have pushed into much heavier of a deficit. Yes, probably would have lost a lot more weight, but I probably would have lost a lot of muscle in the process. So speaking of that, let's look at my morning weight measurements in isolation. I'm going to put the chart up right here. For context, at the start of the chart, we started at 90.99. It's basically 91 kilos. And we're ending around the 86.6, 86.7 kind of range. So just shy of 4.5 kilos down. And that pretty much mirrors what my in-body results are saying. So we can go ahead and safely assume that there's some accuracy there. Again, there's not as much weight as I said that I wanted to lose at the start of the cut, but this was a very different approach to how I've done things previously. This was way more manageable and probably more importantly, way more healthy. I'm sure I've spoken about how I did the cut previously and I just was mentally not in a good place. I can't remember when I did my last physique check. I think it was at the start of the last video. I should have done another one more recently, but it is what it is. So I'm going to put my first ever physique check on from the series alongside my most recent one now, and hopefully you'll be able to see some difference. And then when it comes to performance, throughout this cut, I've actually got my strength up to a level that I'm fairly happy with. I'm definitely stronger now than it was at the start of the cut, especially the main lifts that I really enjoy, the squat and deadlift. You know, I've definitely increased those significantly. So I can have no complaints whatsoever. As far as I'm concerned, this year's shred has been really good. So now we've got our sights set on a new goal, which I'm going to talk about in another video. But for now, we're going to bring Summer Shredding 2025 to a close, and it makes me kind of sad because I've really enjoyed documenting this whole process. So that's the data review all done and dusted. If anyone has any questions or anything, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. I'm gonna go ahead and eat something because if I don't soon, I might actually die. So I'll catch you in the next clip. Oh, I needed that. Well guys, this is it. This is where we wrap up this episode and this entire series. I actually cannot believe I've done 17 episodes of this. It feels like it just absolutely whizzed by, and it just feels like such a normal part of my routine now. But even though the Summer Shred series might be over, I've already been thinking about what I'm going to do with this channel moving forward. There's still going to be weekly uploads, and because I missed last week, you're actually going to get another video midweek this week coming. I've already filmed the first episode of a new series that I'm going to be launching shortly as well. In fact, you know what, looking at the plans that I've made for this channel, it gets me so fired up and so excited, because I do genuinely believe that YouTube is the platform that I am just supposed to be on. I'm supposed to be on this platform making long form content. I think back, you know, if you follow me on Instagram, or even if you just have a look through my profile, you'll see that there's been massive gaps in like times when I've been posting. And it's because, yeah, sometimes I have this random, like, you know, burst of creative kind of like thoughts, and like I upload a few things, but then very quickly run out of steam because I just realize, hang on, I'm just not really interested in creating short form content. It's just not for me. And I feel like each time I've tried to, you know, kind of go at that and, you know, do that and stick with it, I've just been trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. I just don't really have the desire to make that kind of content. But when it comes to stuff like this, just like talking to the camera, you know, showing you the process, showing you the journey that I'm on, this just feels right and it feels good, and I am actually interested in doing it, and I like editing them and I like uploading them. And I've always thought that in long form content anyway, you can actually get to know me in this, which is ultimately the aim. I mean, I know this is virtually and through a screen, but I actually want to, you know, connect with you and really show you what I'm like as a person. You see in raw, unfiltered, what my day looks like. And somehow doing that over the past 17 weeks, I've gained a fair new number of subscribers. The analytics have actually been pretty good for most of the videos. I'm just really happy with how this series has gone. And it just makes me even more excited to make future content better. So I want to take this opportunity to say, you know, if you've watched one episode, if you've watched them all, honestly, thank you so much. I appreciate it more than you could imagine. And I really hope you're going to stick with me because I've got a lot planned and I'm absolutely certain that you're going to love that as well. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this series. If you found this or any of the episodes that we've done entertaining, engaging, informative, or anything in between, make sure you go ahead and leave the video a like. Subscribe to see what's next. I've got another video incoming on Wednesday is the plan. So thanks again for watching and I'll see you very soon. Peace.